Good evening and welcome to RVing in New England. And something a little special tonight is we are being sponsored by the Northeast Region Camping Charity, haloswish.org, and we have a special link tonight. So if you buy the book during the show tonight, we are going to be making a donation to the Northeast Region Camping Charity on behalf of Marc and Julie Bennett. And speaking of Marc, and imagine that, you say Marc and Julie Bennett, and they show up on the screen. This is incredible technology. It's amazing. What?
Look it. We have the #1 people in Amazon in the entire world in book sales, and all you say is, we got a special sponsor, and if you buy a book. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how you do it.
Okay, show me. I'm still learning.
1, go. And hello, everybody. My name is John DePietro. My assistant is Bob Zagami. He is here. And tonight we have the #1 authors in the world, the Amazon bestsellers, the authors of the brand new book, just out, and it went straight to the top.
Right there. It's
called RV Hacks.
Right to the top of the list.
Okay. Yay. And welcome them all the way from the other side of America, Marc and Julie Bennett. Now, what we want to tell you folks is this. Marc will probably get to say, hi, everybody. Thank you for allowing us to come on. And then Julie will just talk for 57 minutes. So I just want to warn you up front that that's kind of the MO with these two. And he's not a ventriloquist, or she's not a ventriloquist where he just gets to turn his head and blink his eyes. He really can talk when he's allowed to do so. Right, Marc?
I can. Yes, I can. And
that's about all we're going to hear from Marc. Tell us about the book.
I can't believe I'm back with you.
Before you jump into that, now the folks that would have tuned in before that saw you on one of your previous appearances know that you've been full-timing since 2014. You've had a couple of motorhomes. You did a renovation on a beautiful country coach. But now, this is your new rig. Explain the evolution of your full-timing and RVing experience, Julie. See, I'm going to say Julie because I know Marc's not going to do it.
Oh, I was jumping a little bit on that. Yeah, we're coming to you from that little casita camper. We first hit the road in the gas Class A with the bunkhouse that we converted to an office. That was great because I worked for other people back then. The second, we had it for about 3 years. The country coach we had for 2.5 years. Yeah. And we did that huge remodel you mentioned. That was really exciting. And then we transitioned to doing some not full-time. We don't full-time in this little camper. We part-time travel in this little camper, and it's a fun little getaway. And it's a great way to mix up our travel experience because after 6.5 years in the big coaches, we really enjoyed them to live and work in full-time. But this little one allows us to get off the beaten path. And also we have a lot more accessibility to sites too, because it's a lot easier to get reservations for a little 17-footer than a 40-plus footer. So
definitely very handy right now when it's so hard to find campsites.
Plus, you can unhook whenever you want, and you've got your vehicle that you can go into restaurants. It's not fun going into a restaurant with a 40-footer.
It's not, and our Jeep, and we can actually do some off-roading with the Jeep now too. And with the camper, we are able to go to some spots that we never could do before. We go right to the edge of a canyon, and it's pretty special.
Pretty cool. It's a really different experience. We're enjoying it.
All right. So the reason that we wanted to have you on tonight, today is a very special day. As John said, you released this yesterday, and it's already #1 on the Amazon bestseller list. Tell us what got you into your second book, seeing that your first book was such a great, incredible bestseller all on its own, and that's available in print and digital and audio. Also came out yesterday in audio. Yep. So yesterday was a big day for you. The book gets published and released. The audio of Living the RV Life is released. And in one day, the same day, you go to #1 on Amazon. So we're going to have to...
Marc, are you part of the audio program, or did you just give Julie the whole thing on that?
I'm sorry?
Neither of us. We didn't read it.
Was it other readers that were doing it?
It was professional readers. We actually have 4 different readers for it, and we did they did allow us to choose who was reading on our behalf, and we did select an Australian woman to read Julie's part. So
that was my question.
It starts off with "G'day."
Really?
Australia or British, it's the same thing, right?
No. No. It's not.
I made that mistake in England a few years ago. They don't like each other.
Who don't like each other?
Brits and Aussies.
No, don't say no, because I'm actually got British citizenship and Australian citizenship, and recently my US citizenship. So I'm a tri-citizen. So I still like British. My dad's English.
You're pretty cool.
Okay.
My mum's Dutch. I'm trying to get a European passport, but I don't know if I can pull that one off.
Now,
Hey,
one of the things that helps to sell books is quotes that they put on the inside jacket or on the outside
cover. Yes.
And I, John, I think the one that is doing the most for them is the quote at the top. Well, I got a better picture for you, but the quote at the top that says, I think a copy of RV Hacks should be in every RV on the road today. I think that's a magnificent quote, but I forget who it's attributed to. John, who wrote that?
Well, Bob, you wrote that, and the amazing thing is, despite the fact that you endorsed it, it's still selling well.
That's the reason people respect Bob and see that's
everybody loves
like that
Bob
from someone like Bob.
Hey, we've got so many people watching. The interesting thing is, I'm looking over here on Facebook. Bernie Collinson's watching. Mark Polk is watching. Phil Hammer. Mark Lebrecht is watching. Rick James, is he the rock star? Walter Burns is watching. Frank Cates is watching. Jim Roy, Frank Robinson, Donna Louise, Walter Swenson Walter must have finished his meal at the restaurant that he showed us pictures.
What was it, the Millbury Inn, or I forget what?
Yeah, the Wheelock Tavern
in Milford. Yeah. Okay.
Our friend Dwayne Cyrus, who we haven't talked to Dwayne in ages, is watching.
So Walt Burns says, "How cool to see the flexibility of owning a smaller towable," and thanks Z and John. And
Z.
he's there. Mark,
hey, Walter.
Good evening, all.
Hi.
And our good friend.
Bob, you get your Jason Cole.
Well, look how fancy you guys are with your graphics,
podcasting
overlays, and
Bernie's one of the top sales rep at Campers Inn RV in Merrimack, New Hampshire. And Bernie just launched his own radio show. He's getting into this media stuff. See, he watched John and Bob for so long. He says, I got to get into this stuff. So now he's got a radio show up in New Hampshire sponsored by Campers Inn RV. And Bernie's coming along. We're going to mentor him and get him going there.
Awesome.
Frank, hey, show opened late. No, Frank. The show did not open late, Frank.
He got here late.
Not tablet cell signal week here. Hope you can get the whole show. Hey, Frank, I don't want to break the news to you, but everything's going fine. The signal is strong. And wherever the hell you're camping, go talk to those people because it's not us.
Okay. See, Julie and Mark, you got to admit, you've got a great publisher, and they go out and get you all these media appearances, right?
No, they didn't do that. We did all that.
You did all that? Okay. Well then fire the publisher and do it.
The first book they did.
We got some from them. Yeah, the first book. The second book, honestly, the industry's been so supportive. All of you guys have just been really amazing. So
you will admit, if not admit now, 9 minutes into the show, but by 57 minutes, you will probably say, you know what, Bob and John? Oh, wait a minute, excuse me. You know what, John and Bob? Of all the shows that we've been on so far and all the shows that we're going to be on, this was the most fun show because, and this is true, we have the most knowledgeable audience in all of the RV world.
You
and
do,
you're
actually.
see the pictures, you're going to see the comments that they make. And one of the questions that I know that they're going to have is, why 400 hacks? Why not 50? Why not 500? Why not 1,000?
The brief was actually for 300 hacks. And then we sat down and we started brainstorming, and we brainstormed some more, and we reached out to some other awesome RVers in the RV space to get their hacks to bring it to life with their stories as well. So it's not just all us. And we just kept writing out more hacks and more hacks and more ideas, and then we ended up with like 450. So we over delivered, and then we said to the publisher, "We'll just pick the best 300, and we'll, I think there was some bit similar we needed to consolidate." And then they said, "No, we like them. Now the book's going to be 400 hacks." So
I don't know if you just noticed it, but 7 seconds ago, Mark got a word in. He said, "Yeah."
Hey, I got a few in towards the front end.
But I think it's very.
Next time it's just you and me, and Bob and I have their own podcast.
But I think it's very important to note that in the book, you are inviting additional hacks from anyone else who has their own specific hack that didn't make it, right? Isn't there an address?
Yeah, anyone can submit a hack.
Yeah, we have it on our website, rvlove.com/RV hacks. There is bonus hacks. There is an opportunity for people to submit their hacks that we can start sharing out with to continue on and continuing sharing. But
there's
like
probably
Julie
a million
said,
hacks out there.
Like Julie said, I think it was really important for us to have other people in there. We hit the road with our dog originally, but we didn't have our dog the last 5 years. So it's great to get expert tips from folks that focus on that kind of information.
We don't have kids, so we got people with families sharing tips on traveling with families and toddlers.
And I'll tell you my granddaughter tip, but it should be important to note here, Bob, then I'll shut up for just a second. Basically, by crowdsourcing additional tips, you can get another book out of this thing without doing a damn thing.
Actually, that's a good idea. Why didn't we think of that the first time? All right, RV Hacks number 2. Volume 2's underway, everyone. Hit us up.
RV Hacks 2nd edition. Yeah. Hey,
you want to read some comments?
Yeah, we'll
pull
that together in 6 weeks too.
Our good friend Sandy Ellingson, who Julie and Mark introduced me to, said another home run for this dynamic duo. The hacks in this book are great for all levels of RV experience and so much fun to read. You can't put the book down. And Mark Kemp from Campground Views, the hacks and tricks contained within this book will save you countless hours of trial and error and money, and make your journey in an RV so much more enjoyable. So it's not just Bob and John.
Hire you, Bob.
But Bob, we have to admit here, and we're going to tell a little story that most people don't know. The reason Sandy Ellingson said it's a book that you can't put down is because she got an advance copy and the glue was still wet. So even though she was done with it, she couldn't put it down because it stuck to her hand. That's the story behind that.
I'm going to defend Sandy, because you have a lovely granddaughter, Mila, who happened to pick it up.
Yep.
And then you may tell the rest of the story, Mr. DePietro.
Okay. I don't know if we have a picture of Mila there in your archives anywhere.
I don't.
She is a lovely little girl. She's 11 years old. And, I ran right out to the bookstore last week, and even though they had the books in the back, they let me buy one. Truth be known, is we got a free copy. Mila grabbed the book, and my daughter said that she's trying to stay off her phone and she wants to do more reading. So she grabbed the book, and we were heading up to a Blue Water property, a KOA up in New Hampshire. And Mila read for 2 hours. And here's what she said, because my wife said to her, "Mila, you've been reading for a couple hours. Do you have a favorite?" She had 2 favorite tips here. One was the one about, if you have those little pill containers, you can put your spices in that so that you didn't have to take the whole jar of spices. And the second one that was, I think, even more important,
very profound,
the tip about traveling with pets, which I think was chapter 4 or 5, where it said, don't put your pet next to the CO2 detector, because if they fart, it will set the alarm off.
It's true.
I like your Australian pronunciation.
I like how you say fart, Tom.
F-A-H-T, just like
that's how we say it down under, mate. F-A-H-T, fart.
So, you know what? And that's so important, because one of the other favorite tips that I got out of the book was in chapter 6, where it said, and I think everybody who I see that's on this call so far will agree with me 100%, involve your kids in every aspect of RVing, whether it's helping to plan the trip, whether it's having chores when they arrive at the campsite, whether it's having chores when it comes to cooking a meal or cleaning up after a meal, or picking the next destination. And whoever that was, any one of your colleagues that put that tip together, I think it's so important, Bob. I'm sure you'll agree that, family camping is really what it's all about. And who'd have thunk that a year ago or a year and a half ago, before this pandemic thing hit, you can't buy an RV if you walk into an RV lot now. Some places you got to wait, 9-10 months, or, certain interstate, Mercedes Airstream motorized units, you got to wait over a year.
Right.
So,
hey, Jason obviously thinks that John and Bob are talking too much.
He just likes Julie's accent.
So Julie won't talk so much. That's there's a strategy on that, and so
Jason Cole is just
I happen to agree with Bernie here. Bernie is very astute.
Now Walter brought one up.
Hey,
here's one for you.
Jerry, I think, are you late, Jerry? And if you are late, did you fail to apologize for being late? And Kim is our new Mass State Director for Girl Camper, and Janine.
And Janine.
And Janine's got a tip in the book. I didn't pull that. I was thumbing through. Janine has a tip in the book also, right?
She does.
That's
Janine has an awesome tip.
Yeah,
it's one of our favorites. Yeah. And
see how Mark spoke.
He opens up for you, Bob. He won't talk for me.
I say girl camper, and Marcus just jumps right on it.
That's probably not the term you want to use. This is a family show. Remember, we're in the family hour, 7 to 8 Eastern.
So we may have to move it later then.
Bob saw a girl camper and jumped right on it. It's just not.
God.
Let me see who else is.
Do you want Mark to share Janine's awesome tip? Because I think it's.
I'm going to do another quote, but I don't see Rick Kessler on. And Rick was kind enough to publish the show promo graphic yesterday and did a nice job for us on RV business. And Rick says you're going to want to dig into this book for hundreds of handy hacks that you might never have thought of. It will help your RV lifestyle all the more. Yeah. Thank you, Rick. And a good friend, a real good friend, local Massachusetts boy here, Chris Doherty, technical editor of the new RV Enthusiast magazine. He knows a little bit about publishing, and he knows a little bit about computer stuff, but he knows an awful lot about RVs. The Bennett's new book is an encyclopedia of tips from RVers all over North America, continuing a long-standing tradition of RVers sharing things that help them on the road. A lot of great hacks that RVers, old and new, will appreciate and enjoy. Isn't that
there's even one in there for you, John?
Isn't that the truth about RVers being willing to share? So when you guys get caught in a campground and people recognize who you are, you must be besieged with them asking you all kinds of things about the RV life, and now you're going to get bombed with RV hacks.
Bob, you asking me or them?
Them.
We like learning from other people. We're very curious.
Huh?
We're very curious. We're RV curious. So when we meet other RVers, we like to learn about them and their rig and their lifestyle and why they chose what they chose and what works and what doesn't. And that's been so much fun for us. Yeah. So we learn hacks. And walking around the campground, you see some cool things outside of a campsite and you think, why didn't I think of that? So some great things that we've seen out there.
And we should say that, we're 20 minutes into the show, but we really haven't told our audience where they can buy the book. And yes, you can go directly to Amazon.com, but we have a special link. It's called an Amazon Associates link, and any revenue, all revenue that we get from it is going to go to the Northeast Regional Camping Charity, also known as Halo's Wish.
I'm going to put that.
Use that link.
I am going to put that in the comments so that you people can buy the book during the show. And as we said before, we're sponsored tonight by the Northeast Region Camping Charity, who we love. Walter Swenson, Jason Cole, Rhonda and Joe Cavosa. Just a great bunch of people, and they make little kids' wishes come true. So talk a little bit about that, John, because you do the rigs when they get down for September, and I will go ahead and post the link in the show.
Yep, that Amazon thing. Basically, we heard about the charities when Jason and Lisa were the Rhode Island chair people for Good Sam, and Joe and Ron DeCavosa were the chairpersons for Massachusetts, and now Walter and Donna Swenson have taken over a lot of the they're also involved with it. So there's several people in the Northeast area that are involved in this event, where they pick out a family that is unable, that has a child with a special need. And you know what? They've helped out several people, including our own granddaughter Mila, who loves to go camping. So it's got all that charity stuff that you need to write it off. So buy the book, and don't just go to Amazon.com and buy the book, but go to this special link, buy the book, and whatever tiny percentage that Amazon gives us will benefit the charity. There it is, right over there. Bob had posted it. It's at 7:20. So just that should be a live link. Would somebody check on that? Tell me if it's a live link.
That is a live link, right?
Okay, you should be able to do that. But folks, you know what? We talk about RVing and we talk about families, and I know I'm being redundant, but you know what? There's just nothing more special than seeing that wide-eyed smile of a little kid across the campfire with the marshmallow and the stick that's on fire and that type of thing, and watching those kids jump into a pool for the first time. And you know what? They do a big event at the end of the year every year down at Normandy Farms, and it's just a magical event. So the beauty of it is that Marc and Julie get to share some great camping tips with the world, and because of their sharing, we get to share RVing with people throughout the Northeast. Okay. With that being said, let's get back.
You don't have any excuse to not buy the book, but I don't want to see you buy one book. I mean, you guys go camping with 10, 20 of your fans. So buy a dozen books. The next time you go camping, hand them out to all your friends. So I'm going to leave it up on the scroller for a while, and you have it over in the comments section. So having said that, let's see a couple of more quotes that come from, Patrick Buchanan. John, why don't you take it and read a couple?
I haven't seen this one yet.
You're presuming I can read.
This must be new.
RV Hacks is none of those things. It's not a hack. It's a straightforward, cohesive, logical gathering of vital information that every RVer needs. And knowing Marc and Julie, I've seen their excitement over the release of this book bubbling for months. Bubbling.
Wow.
I can now see why they are so passionate about it. Now, we should say Patrick is our colleague on the RV Life Network. And you already did another show with them, right? You guys have already done another show that will be available this week.
That was in his newsletter that he posted today.
Yep.
We haven't seen that yet, so thank you for sharing that.
So, Julie, it's the least I can do for you, Julie. I mean, come on.
So Jim Roy just bought his copy.
The book is categorized in 6 chapters: driving, repairs and maintenance, camping, campgrounds, and boondocking, RV living, cooking, work and technology on the road, and families and kids. So let's take number 1, driving. Julie, Marc, do you have a particular one that you like on driving?
Well, for me, I mean, we
John,
kind of
done our homework. Go ahead.
We started to touch on it earlier. When you mentioned Janine Pettit from Girl Camper, and hers, it was an external submittal, but I think her tip and hack is an excellent one. And it's that for people who are not familiar with towing a trailer, the best way to get familiar with towing a trailer is to just go rent one from U-Haul. They'll help you set it up. They'll help you hook it up to your rig, and then you can go drive it around. And it's a super durable, rough and tumble trailer. You're not going to hurt it. You're not going to scratch it, bang it up.
Probably cost you $20,
$30 to go rent it for the day instead of pulling around a real RV with stuff that's going to rattle and potentially break. Just take that U-Haul out there, hit a few potholes.
Just make sure you have the insurance with it.
Yeah, make sure.
That's a great tip. John, what about you? You got something?
That is a great tip. The beauty of renting from U-Haul is that when you bring it back after you've dented it, they're not going to know it because there was dents in it when you went out with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you,
You're
one of
also
the tips,
stressed. I think when you've got spent a lot of money on your camper, and then you might have spent $20,000 on your camper. I mean, there's a lot more at stake when you do something.
it's
Just
especially backing up. I think that's an important thing with learning how to back up. Now, Bob, you asked me, I had a favorite tip in chapter 1.
On the driving chapter, John. I know it's difficult. It's the one with the number 1. It's right at the top. Yeah.
Okay. And it's tip number 9. Download your route offline.
Yep.
I go one step further. Print out your directions. Why is that? Because how many times have we gotten to a situation like if you're going to the Great Smoky Mountains, or you're going up to Maine or New Hampshire, or you're going even to the New Hampshire seacoast, internet doesn't work well everywhere. So if you're about 10 miles from your destination and you're in the woods and you have no internet, you're stuck. But if you have a printed copy right there, you can say, okay, at the junction of interstate highway this and that, go left or right, and you'll avoid being lost. I think that's just a marvelous tip.
That's how we used to do it in the old days, right? Before GPS.
Right.
You
did maps and everything. All right. My tip on the driving one is number 2, right out the gate. Don't overplan your trip. The whole benefit of RVing is to see something that you don't bring home. Get off the interstate, get on the 2-lane road, go to the small towns, meet the people. Don't eat at the big chain restaurants. Ask somebody in town, where's the best place to eat? Go and do it. And
now, Bob, when you say don't overplan your trip, were you talking specifically to Walter Swenson, who has every second and every quarter mile of his trip planned, even though it's an 800-mile trip?
Walter Swenson, nobody plans a trip like Walter. He is an engineer. He's been posting his updates just so his friends can see. And the trip isn't until next year, right? The one that he's posting now, isn't that for next year?
Oh, that trip across country.
Yeah, the trip across country.
He's had that posted for 2 years already now.
Right. Absolutely.
He's got, Julie and Mark, he's got his trip from Massachusetts to Florida. He's got it down to arriving within 15 minutes of his estimated arrival time.
Wow,
that's a lot of precision.
So, no, that's sick.
Has he already determined exactly what time he's leaving?
Where he's eating?
To avoid the traffic?
He won't leave at 5 o'clock. He'll leave 5 a.m. He'll leave at 4:51 a.m.
All right, let's go to number 2.
Oh, there's Walter right there. Yes, September 2022.
It is that late, right?
It's been up for a year already.
Yeah. And Jerry says, my driving tip for Class A's, put a piece of tape on the windshield where the center line should be. That's in the book, Jerry. Didn't come from you.
Jerry, it is. Yep.
It's in the book. That's a Mark Polk trip. I saw that years ago.
Is it?
Yeah. I saw that years ago. He did that on a video. And Mark is on tonight. Our good friends from RV Education 101. Jim Roy just said, hey, there you go. There's a little bit in the kitty and a percent.
We made 4 cents from Amazon now.
Everything that we get off of that goes to NRCC. We don't take anything. So thank you, Jim. Jim restores. And if you guys ever get up to Maine here, Jim is Silver Moose Restorations. He is the best Airstream renovation guy in the country. You think you did a great job? You think you did a great job on your country coat? You ought to see what he does. The 50-year-old Airstreams to make them new.
That's like an
We've
art.
seen some absolutely beautiful.
He is incredible. Bill
Ours look good, but don't look too close on a few things.
Bill Sells says it worked. I assume he means the link. Now, don't just tell me if it works, Bill. Tell me if you bought the book. That's the more important thing.
Hey, Bob.
Walter says, great. Given many cars and trucks have backup cameras, small paint line on the tongue of the camper, and you can line the ball and tongue up using the rear view camera. See, there you go. Good one. All right, you got to make sure you get the next one. So we're on chapter 2. So okay. Julie and Mark, repairs and maintenance. You got a favorite?
Well, in honor of being number 2, I think I'll talk about the toilet paper test. A quick hack on how to know whether or not your toilet paper is able to be used in a septic
Because
system.
that's like in all the Facebook groups, that's one of the most common questions. I think every day everyone asks that, can I use what's the best toilet paper? You'll never have to ask it in all the groups again.
That's the tip that's got the 2 jars full of water, right?
Yeah, it's got an illustration of
we
it.
won't tell her anymore because we want them to buy the book. So check the scroller, folks. Check the comments. You got a link to go out and buy the book.
Charity.
So mine is simple. What?
Well, go ahead, tell your tip, and then I gotta level with this audience.
And you would think that everybody knows it, but they don't. Tilt your awning to prevent water pooling.
Yeah.
So awnings are expensive, and it's almost like every time you go camping, somebody drives it into a tree. They go shopping, you get torrential rains, it tears the awning off the camp. I mean, this is not cheap stuff, folks. These things cost a lot of money to repair. So I'll turn the microphone over to Mr. DePietro for his brilliant repair.
Okay. Well, your tip is okay, but it's kind of cosmetic because if you're ripping awning, no big deal. You got some duct tape or Gorilla Tape, you can put it on, no big deal. My tip will actually save lives. So my tip is much more important than the one that Zagami did. And here it is. And it's a big, huge mistake people make. But I even have told other people the same tip, and then I saw it plagiarized in the book. Replace your tires by age. Okay. Now, a few years ago, Budweiser came out with this thing called the Born On date on the bottle of Budweiser beer or the can of Budweiser beer. Okay.
Yeah. Does nobody drink Budweiser? Wait a minute, nobody drinks Budweiser beer. The hell?
Yeah, no, they all drink that craft beer.
Designer, by the way.
Okay. Well, they're in Colorado, so they drink Coors only there.
No, we drink Fire.
It's very important, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the crazy part. We're talking to an audience that's already educated, but there might be people that are newbies here. Tires are only used, again, 7,000 to 10,000 miles a year on the average. And tires may look new even if they're 10 years old. But if they're 10 years old, they could be rotting from the inside out. So even though the outside might look good, those inside tire wells can be very fragile. And the last thing you want to do, and I'm sure Randall Murray can tell us how many units he's seen that have had blowouts where it, unlike a car, it isn't just a tire you lose, but you could lose an exhaust system, Mark, right, Julie? You could lose your brakes. You could lose your stairs. You could lose your plumbing. I know there's various things anywhere between 5 to 7 to 8 years, and you look on that tire and you can see where that tire the week in the year it was made.
Yeah.
And if it's over 5 years, look at it. If it's over 7, get it out of there, even if it looks new.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you shared that one. Safety is really big for us.
Yeah, you can take them down to tire shops and they can check them for you. I mean, we're not all tire experts, right? So take it down to someone that is. We replaced ours on our Tiffin because we were the third owners of that motorhome, and they're about 5 years old. And there was a chunk out of the side of one, and there was a bit of sidewall cracking. We replaced them, and we, did an article and video about it. And somebody criticized us because we replaced them too soon. And I'm just like, why do you spent too much money and wasted money? I'm like, you can't put a value. I mean, that's your life. Our life was literally riding on those tires. That's the way we see it.
Julie, it's the internet. And half the people that say stuff on the internet don't know what the hell they're talking about anyway. So don't worry about them.
Okay. Now,
number 3.
But Bob, hold on. Before you go to that, I think it's important to point something out here. We're giving these two people all the credit for writing 400 tips. The fact of the matter is, they haven't even said tonight that it wasn't them. Now, in their book, they were legally obligated to give other people acknowledgements. And even though tonight they tried to slide by and take all the credit.
So everybody knew with tax they shared with us.
It's
One's harsh.
You are bad.
It's important that our audience know that they probably only did about 10 of these tips themselves, and the other they crowdsourced.
Yes.
So, just talk about a couple of the people.
Wait, no, just a minute. Dedication. for all you RVers, young or old, newbie or seasoned, driving motorhomes or towing campers. Whether you're out living the dream or you find yourself trying to figure out a solution to the conundrums of life on the road, remember, it's all part of the adventure. We wrote this book for you so you can feel confident in the knowledge that no matter what RV life throws at you, you've got this. And they do mention somewhere along the way that these are, in fact, they list several, if you had read the book, John, they list several people at the front who contributed the comments and the tips.
I see that.
Okay, so what is your point?
But the point is, they tried to slide by an hour of this show without giving credit to anyone else. They were taking all the credit themselves.
No.
I just don't think that's right.
No, you're wrong. They were intelligent enough to know that they were talking to John and Bob, and that John and Bob read the book that they so graciously sent us so that we would be prepared for the show, and they didn't feel it necessary for remedial training before we went on the air.
Right. But I think it's important to note that they put a sticker on the back saying, not for resale. Normally, I get these copies and bring them back to the used bookstore and get half the money back, but I can't do that with these.
See, John, you'll notice that my book doesn't have that. Mine was a special copy of the book.
Yeah.
And
you'll notice Bob will be at Bull Moose in Scarborough, Maine tomorrow trying to trade the book in.
And there's a nice handwritten note on the inside, which you and I are very strong proponents of. Thanking people with handwritten notes on the book. So before we were rudely interrupted, we were on chapter 3. We're going to go to chapter 4. Did we get your chapter 3, John?
Did you want us to mention some of the people that have contributed to the book? Because we do want people to check out page 14 and 15 and go and follow their channels and their websites too, because they've got.
And you know what? I'm only kidding you, but that is an all-star team that you've got there. That is,
well, they're hand selected.
That is great.
Because you can't trust everything on the internet, and you want to know that the sources that are contributing are good quality sources. And that's one of the things that's cool about working with the publisher is they fact check stuff. It's not, we can't just put anything out there. They fact checked.
And one of the good things about working with John and Bob is we have no script and have no idea what we're going to say next.
I don't think they'll have any trouble finding anything.
That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
Part of the fun.
Right. And one of the reasons John is not in the book is he knew it was going to be fact checked, so he wasn't sure what he would want to send in. But John, did you give us number 3 for your?
No, I have one, and it's so good and it's so important. And ironically, even though they wrote this book 6-7 months ago, some of the tips that you read are so important today, right now, in the middle of July in 2021. When you look at these tips, they say, did they write this last week? But so important. Everybody says, in fact, I just had a person call me at 6:45 tonight before we went on the air and said, I'm trying to find a campsite in Maine or New Hampshire, and I can't. Can you help me? There are people that only want to go camping on weekends because their work schedule or kids are in school, et cetera, et cetera. However, I'm sure you'd agree, and the tip says, stay midweek for smaller crowds, lesser noise, and lesser commotion. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might not be able to go out on a holiday weekend or, an August or July weekend, but if you want to go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you can fit it into your schedule, places may still have availability.
Yep. Sometimes the midweek, John, the rates are lower than weekends. Often you'll find Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, especially in popular places, charge a premium, but Sunday through Thursday, that's why Passport America, when you can get 50% off, it's often only for Sunday through Thursday for that reason, because they're trying to get business on those.
Yep. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because we had talked about that pricing differentiation that's coming into the industry, that supply and demand is creating.
Like dynamic pricing.
Pricing is coming. Yep. So we only have 60 minutes, folks, so we have to
get your questions in.
Right. Chapter 4.
We should allow our audience to ask a question, Bob.
All right. RV living. Mark and Julie, you take that one. And then, John, you give us yours, and I'm going to go back to the comments and see what I'm missing.
Go ahead, Julie. Tell us your favorite
one there.
from channel 4, chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Oh, chapter 4.
Well, while Julie's
I had my one from chapter 3 ready. Now you've put me on a.
Well, I'll share. Since John says I don't give credit to anybody, I'll give another quote from someone else, and that's from Tim and Emily Rohr, some good friends of ours, and she shared. Let's do more. She shared a fun tip about how she doubled her shoe storage by putting her sandals and small shoes inside her boots and other taller shoes. And it not only helps hold the boots upright, but it also allows double the shoe storage. And so that was a fun storage hack. So that just came top of mind.
Because there's nothing worse than a woman going camping in the RV and being told she can't bring all her shoes that she wants to bring.
At least 20 shoes per weekend.
Not if you want to survive. Not if the husband wants to survive. So you can't take. Wait. My wife was just running across the room there. May, did you realize that when you go camping, the easy way to take more shoes is to take Julie just said to us that you can take your sandals and put them inside your boots and other shoes. So you can take twice as many shoes with you.
Yeah.
Now she'll probably throw something at me.
I want to see that.
Wait a minute. She got a comment?
I need to do that.
She can't do that. Why?
I don't need to do that.
Oh, she doesn't need to do that because she doesn't.
Well, Emily's from Texas, and all Texas girls like their boots.
She's disciplined, Julie. She doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
All right. DePietro, you got something on RV living?
Yeah, on number 4. This is cool. Okay.
Wait a minute. Number 4?
Chapter 4.
No, I always said that. Chapter 4, RV living. Do you have a favorite trip, and what number is it?
Yes. Number 243. Pre-wash your fruits and vegetables before leaving home. Why? Because water, pure water, clean water, is always at a premium when you're on the road.
Yeah.
And let's face it, if you stop at a truck stop or Flying J or Petro or TA, you know what? You really can't be sure that the water that you're putting into your tank is as clean as coming from your home. So if you're taking your fruits and vegetables, do that. And I would also go one step further, that if you're buying fruits and vegetables on the road, you may want to wash them off with bottled water as a degree of security.
That's very good. Now, mine on that.
Wait, Bob, hold on, Bob. You say that's very good with a degree of surprise in your voice.
Well, it's okay. I mean, like you mentioned on one of mine, it's okay. It wouldn't be a
look at
a top 10 tip, but I think mine is better.
Yeah, but safe tires are more important than a safe awning. So go ahead, try to beat me.
I can easily beat you on chapter 4, RV living. Number 253. Use a waffle iron to make all kinds of fun meals. I never thought of this. Take your waffle iron with you. You can use it not only just for waffles. That's what I think about. That's the only thing I've ever used a waffle iron for, was to make waffles. But number 253 says you can use it to make a panini press, a toaster, or a toaster oven. And if you do an online search, you can find loads of inspiration and recipes. So, how do you compare to that, DePietro?
Okay. Let's go to the audience right now and ask our studio audience, our live studio audience, which they thought was better, clean water or paninis.
I have one.
Go ahead.
For RV living. It's actually behind us because we're in this tiny camper. And this is actually a combination of 2 hacks. Yeah. Because in an RV, there's not a lot of counter storage. And, really? No, especially in this little 17-foot casita, I can tell you. And so it gets.
You can't find a lot of counter storage?
We cannot.
No, this one. And so use vertical storage. So whether you're using command hooks or little wall-mounted shelves you can put things on, or you can hang wire baskets, just make sure they're not on a wall that a slide out comes over, of course. But the thing that I have done here, and also this is a double hack, is using the vertical storage. And if you're in a little camper with carpeted walls like we have in this casita, you can't use command strips or Velcro or anything like that. So we use these things called T-pins, little tack pins for sewing. So I've got my 2 hats here which were getting in the way. And I've just got a little pin in the back using the vertical space, and they're just hanging with the pin goes through the back and behind the carpet. So that's a double hack to do one thing.
One. Two for
A double header by Julie Bennett. Wow.
But
Yeah,
Julie, you know how you solve that problem?
I'm impressed.
Don't bring your
Take
hat.
one hat.
It doesn't have to be hats, though. It could be anything. It could be a little basket, or it could be all kinds of things you can use those for. Artwork, just to make it look pretty.
Artwork.
I got to take a break.
Yep.
Sponsored tonight by the Northeast Region Camping Charity, haloswish.org. Check out all the great work that they do. And as you see by our note, buy the book now, all the proceeds of all the sales created on this lake go directly to the Northeast Region Camping Charity. Nothing gets taken out for administration. Nothing. 100% goes to the Northeast Charity. Say a couple of words about the charity, John.
The charity is, you know what, it's campers helping campers, and it's the nicest group. And if I start mentioning names, I'll leave a couple out, and it won't do anybody justice. But they help people out. And when they have their big event in Normandy Farms in September, they bring in 100 units, 150 units or so. And they introduce others to, people that might be just day camping at Normandy Farms to the camping lifestyle. We've had so many people, you know what, and so many of the dealers support them when they come down and bring their dealer supplies, displays.
Right.
And the people who aren't even part of the camping charities are buying new trailers. I know I see Randy Murray's name here, but Pete's is always a big supporter of the association. You know what, it's just a nice group of people. And Marc and Julie, I'm sure you see in you started 2014 full timing, the sharing, caring attitude that RVers have, not only toward other RVers, but to even non-RVers as well, right, guys?
We absolutely have seen that over the years. It's really a great community. We do love that about it. They seem to always be looking.
Everybody's ready to help.
Yeah.
We've always joked that when you're in a campground, you just need to go outside and put the hood up on your truck or something, and like half a dozen.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bob, can you show the picture of their casita? You have the exterior picture there, because we've been talking about it, but
I do.
For those people that may have joined us late. And by the way, Sandy Ellingston is here now. She was stuck behind a wreck.
Ooh.
Well, that's good to hear. As long as you were not in the wreck, Sandy, that's good news. But here's
well, she was able to get the glue off of her hands. That's right. So
that's right, Mark. Mark, that's good. Hey, but look, Bob, they didn't tilt go back to that. They didn't tilt their awning.
It wasn't raining, John.
Well, it could rain at any moment.
But I'll tell you what.
But look, they got good tires.
If it did rain, they're going to lose the awning. Look at that dip in the awning.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark, you're supposed to take the awning out taut, so straight out,
Dip,
so you don't have this little dip. You just invited all the raindrops to just sit right in the middle of your awning.
I did on that particular day. I didn't do that right. I was in a bit of a rush, it seems. So.
And if you notice another thing, now let's keep this in mind here. Julie's got two hats. Go back to that picture again, Bob.
What, the two hats?
No. The exterior shot. Mark only has one shirt because he's wearing the same shirt.
It's a different. Then this is a different shirt. This one's got a color.
All right. So we got about 10 minutes left. Chapter 6.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a hack.
5.
Did we miss one?
Yeah, 5.
No, we got Sandy.
5 is work and technology on the road. We missed that.
We got to be a lot quicker.
I'll get one.
Wait a minute. Let me get it up here.
Oh.
My favorite hack is to use paper towels to wipe off plates before washing to keep gray tanks fresher. Now, Julie, I have to ask you, that's in the book. Was that?
You know who we learned that from?
That's
My
in the
dad
book.
and his wife in Australia, because they have a caravan. They're on a big 3-month trip now. And when we first got our RVs, we were complete newbies. That was one of the first hacks they shared with us.
I got a better one.
That's who did it. So Sandy read the book, looked at that, and said, "Hey, my favorite hack is the same as the guys in the book, or the gals in the book, right?"
Are you accusing her of plagiarizing?
No, we'll leave that up to Joe Biden. No, I don't
Okay.
do that. No. Bill,
I got a better hack than that, Sandy.
Bill says
Just
Sandy.
use paper plates.
And then you can use the paper plates to light your campfire at night.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. Bill
Sandy
sells.
says, lucky John didn't hit a beer and have his
Bear.
wreck this a bear.
Bob, that's bear.
Oh, lucky didn't.
I thought it was beer too.
I saw that, man. I thought
I thought it was a bit early for drinking beer.
I thought you better hear. All right. So everybody's done chapter 5. Everybody's done chapter 5, right? Chapter 6.
Yep.
Families, kids, and pets. And since I've not gone first yet, I will take executive.
They're easy to beat.
I will take executive period. Number 388. Build a custom crate to fit for your pets. So take under the dinette or under the bed, put something there, make a special crate for the pets that you travel in. They will like it and they will love it.
It's good under a booth dinette, if you.
Especially under those.
Booth dinettes work well for that.
All right, John, what do you got? You're going to try
Time out. I've been so busy producing the show, I didn't comment on number 5. On work. Did we comment? Did we do 5 on work and technology?
No.
But we didn't want to say
We got out of sequence. All right, let's back up, reverse the tape. We'll now do chapter 5, work and technology on the road. And since I missed my chance to be number 1, I'll do this one number 1. 309.
2 in a row. That's 2 in a row. You're number 1.
I'm going to give when we get to number 6, I'm going to give somebody else a chance.
Doesn't share.
No. So this one, I thought this was one of the best ones in the book, because if you have a smaller trailer or you got a lot of kids, keep an office hidden under your bed. Lift the bed up, put a drop-down monitor, put a little desk in there that you can work, get a folding chair. I thought that was one of the most incredible ones in the book. Beat that to me, Joe.
A lot of family that did that. In our first year on the road, we met this family, and they traveled with, I think, 3 kids, 3 girls, and the dad in the daytime when he was working, because the mom homeschooled the 3, and he was able to close the bedroom door, and he had a little folding chair he brought in there, and he had his own private office. And no, the bedroom doesn't get used during the day.
It's all about multiple uses of space.
Yeah, but just to piggyback on that, Mark, in your first motorhome, you ripped out the bunk beds, right?
Yeah.
And put your office in there because you guys were still working full time when you had your first motorhome.
Yep, absolutely. And that worked out really good because that was a completely dedicated office that I could close the curtain on at the end of the day, and it was completely shut away from the rest of the living in space.
That was the specific reason we bought that motorhome, for that reason.
That's great.
Because he liked to close his office off at the end of the day and then not look at it on the weekends.
Yeah, and the Tiffin's bunkhouse was 30 inches.
Number 5, because I do not want to run out of time.
Okay. I have one, Bob, that's better than yours, but because I'm a sharing, caring person, I will defer to Walter Swenson's, where he says with power cords, if you need to put 2 cords together, connect them, and then place the connection on a board with a 3 or 5 gallon bucket over them so they're not lying on the ground and getting soaked.
Okay, so
nice one.
Right, so Walter failed to acknowledge that these are for exterior cords when you're coming in off the pedestal, not interior cords. Because in Walter's case, with all the stuff that he's got in his rigs, he's got all these computers, big monitors, desks. When I first saw that, I thought he's talking about the cords inside the RV. He's talking about outside the RV. Just
Yes.
I don't think it rains inside the RV.
Yeah, well, it does, but that's a topic on maintenance.
That's on roof maintenance.
That's on having a
water intrusion.
Leaky roof.
Right.
Yeah. So, in fact, Walter, I did that exact thing this weekend. We were down in Connecticut. I did that exact thing where I took the joining cords and put a bucket over them so that groundwater wouldn't go there. I love that one too, Julie, says Sandy. Are we done with those? Oh, no, we got one more with 6.
No, number 6. So in honor of our guests, we'll let them give us their number, what they would like for families, kids, and pets.
I feel like I've been sharing too many. I gotta make sure Julie gets this.
Well, you're to be commended, Mark. You have talked quite a bit tonight. You're fully engaged in the program, and we really appreciate it.
Well, you guys are just so fun. I mean, this to John's point earlier in the call, of all the interviews, I'm sure that this will still go down as the most fun time we've had.
I think so. Probably the most fun episode you've ever done.
Well, yeah, thanks, Julie. But the fact is, you can see when there's a national publisher involved and they get all these media people to interview you,
yeah.
You can tell they don't know what the hell they're talking about when they're asking you questions, right?
Yeah. Right.
And we don't know what the hell we're talking about either, but we fake it better.
You do. You guys do a great job. If you don't know what you're talking about, you really come
Nobody
off
would
well.
know.
So.
Right. So, Julie, you have a chapter 6 favorite?
Yeah, this one my favorite.
Before you jump to number 6, Bernie's got a question.
Where is it?
Cooking hacks.
Well, Bob shared one about the
I was back in
the waffle maker.
Hey, Bernie, you're taking up valuable time. Go buy the book. There's a section on cooking. So we're gonna wipe Bernie off the screen. Yeah. So Marc and Julie, number 6, families, kids, pets. What do you think? For you?
Yeah, I'm going to share another pet one because we're getting a new puppy this weekend. So
all right.
unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do this without Casita, I don't think. But this one is actually, you can see the
Oh, look at
photo of
Bob's
it.
little fur baby.
Oh my goodness, they're so cute.
This is our that's RV, and that's
RV?
Wally. The white one's Wally. But let me show you something before you jump into that. They just got groomed today, and guess how they got groomed? In an RV in Maine.
Oh, that's so cool.
Business, unbelievable inside of this unit. Drove right up to our driveway, took them out of the house, had them groomed, and
That's fantastic.
unbelievable. Another RV.
Great.
Yep. All right, I cut
They
you
do
off.
really well in campgrounds. Like if they stay in campgrounds, they probably have business just.
There's so many campgrounds up here in Maine. He could make a killing.
Yeah.
Stopping off at the campgrounds. Absolutely.
You know who else kills it? Is those mobile awning guys. The guys that are coming around fixing the awnings. In Palm Springs, there are all these palm trees.
Here's what John's got.
My kid's down, and John is going to showcase 6 wonderful grandchildren.
Oh,
The show and tell part. So we had 4 of the 6 this weekend. The RV is in for total renovation.
After that, 4 of them.
All right, now we'll let you do number 6, Julie. Eventually,
All right. This is one of my favorites.
left.
and this actually has got a photograph on the cover in the middle there. You see that little puppy, that little dog coming down a ramp. So if you can, now this is obviously not possible in every
Floor
RV.
plan.
Hey, Julie,
Plan
Julie, do that. Hold that up again. There you go.
That middle photo with the
Yep.
pet ramp.
Little
So-
ramp. Yeah.
Modify your RV to install a pet ramp so they can cut a little hole in the floor and then put a ramp and they can let themselves in and out through one of the basement doors.
Yeah, give them the click or 2 for the TV so they can watch a TV
was,
show.
yeah, that was hack 380.
And I already gave you mine.
You need a folding fence out there to make sure they're contained. Obviously you can't have them just wandering around the campground. But I just thought that was ingenious, and that photo was actually sent to us by our friend Brandy Renault, who saw that at a campground. And I just thought it was brilliant. There's actually a photo of that in our first book as well as the second book. That's how good the photo is.
Speaking about brilliant, we will
Talking to
end
me
the show-
again?
Right. We will end the show with the brilliant John DePietro and his favorite hack in chapter 6.
Well, I already said that earlier because I'm well ahead of the time. I said involve your kids in every chapter, in every aspect of RVing. But more importantly, I want to ask Marc and Julie what it was like. I mean, it had to be a magical moment when you went on Amazon and you looked up where your book was and saw what was that like? What was that magic moment like?
It was, I was still in bed. I wasn't even out of bed yet. And I was so excited because you just, we don't have kids and we don't have pets until this weekend. And then, so it's kind of like these books are like our babies. And so it's like, I know that sounds really.
So Julie, you were not out of bed yet, but you saw.
I'm not a morning person.
You saw the announcement. So do you?
But I left out.
Do you take your cell phone to bed, or your tablet, or your computer?
No, but I was very excited. Leapt out of bed, had a shower, said, "Let's get in the car and go driving around and find them." At bookstores, but the Amazon list, it changes all throughout the day. So I just kept refreshing my phone to look at it. And then what the best moment, actually, well, the first best moment was when seeing that RV Hacks was #1 in the new releases. This is obviously in its category in travel. And then general, I think it was general transportation resources. And then the next best moment was seeing at one point, it was like the Amazon hot releases, and it had RV Hacks in print was #1. RV Hacks as the digital book was #3, and Living the RV Life in the audio book, which also came out yesterday, was #4. So there were three books, three of the top four spots at once. And I took a screenshot, and it was really.
I hope you did.
It's in the email newsletter I sent out half an hour before this call.
So before we get our last comments, let me once again say, folks, please
buy the book,
share the show,
support the charity,
buy the book. Tell all your friends that special Amazon link right there. All the money, every single penny goes to haloswish.org, our friends at the Northeast Region Camping Charity. And we'll post up there the rally that they're doing at Normandy Farms. And so we will make sure that you have that. So we could go, we could do this for 8 hours.
I thought we were going to run out of things to say.
We won't. We'll make shit up.
It's always so fun to be on the call with you guys. You guys really make for a fun time. Always look forward.
And you always bring such great people into the chat too.
I can't believe that.
So you're great contributors to the industry. You're fun people, and we love you guys. It's just the products and the books and whatever. John, any closing comments before?
No, you know what? They're just nice people. It's fun to have nice people on. They've been on with us 3 times. And Sandy is asking about new name for a fur baby. We'll let that go for another time. Maybe people who are watching this on replay, they can suggest a name for your new arrival coming soon to a casita near you.
If it was up to you, John, what would you name it?
Casita.
Somebody else suggested that yesterday.
I would call him or her Hack. So Sandy, seeing that you put the note up, we're going to run a couple of minutes over here, but this is so much fun. Sandy, what would you call it? What would your recommendation be for a name, seeing that you posted it?
Jim Roy just bleeped me.
The litter name. The litter name is actually, you're not going to believe it, and we didn't pick it for this reason, is actually love, because we called it the Hobby Lobby litter because they call them like faith, inspiration, joy, love.
What brand is it? I mean, what breed?
It's
a Newmar.
It's a mini golden doodle. Mark's allergic to dogs, so he has to have like a hypoallergenic dog.
Oh yeah. So it's got.
And you know what's one of the great things about the pandemic is that we looked in shelters in a 300 rescues or a 300-mile radius, and so many of the dogs got adopted during the pandemic. So it was really hard to find one that he wasn't going to be allergic to. We found one about it.
Jim Roy says, name the puppy Aussie.
That's on the list too. We've got a long list.
Bernie has Dingo. Bernie's got Dingo down here. Sandy says #1.
Bernie? What the hell is Dingo?
Dingo's something in Australia, isn't it?
Australia, right? Is that an outback person or something?
Is it an animal or something?
It's a wild dog in the outback, yeah.
Oh, Dingo.
It says name #1.
#1.
We're not going to call him #2.
She named it, and she said #1.
If this was Howard Stern, this would be called the After Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
we should wrap up before we get in trouble.
Dedicated.
Always good to
thank you very much, folks. Everybody share it. We will, Mark and Julie, thank you very much for
buy the book. Help somebody, help another family get introduced.
Put it in your dealership. Put it in your dealer stores and your campground stores.
Right. That's right. We are doing a mailing to our NERVDA dealers tomorrow. A special plan for them to stock not only RV hacks, but living the RV life. So check before you do anything, order with this code that we had up there, and I forget where it is here. But let me go get it here. Yeah, they put it up there. So buy it there first and check your Nerve to Dealer if you're out there doing service and what have you. Marc and Julie, we will have you back again. You're always great guest. We love you guys, and thank you for all the things that you've done for the RV industry. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for what you do.
All
Thanks
right.
for having us.
Everybody.
Good night.
Ciao.
See you on the road.
Arrivederci.